Greg Kelly, the latest breaking news and opinions, entertaining and informative.
The entire world is watching Matthew McConaughey, an actor. Now, I can't think of one Matthew McConaughey movie right now off the top. He was in, was he in Ray Donovan? No. What was that thing about the courthouse in the 90s? Was he in Dallas Buyers Club? And he was the one about the strippers, the male strippers. All right. I am kind of curious. Turn up the volume just for a moment. Let me see what's going down here.
Evidence that could identify her after the shooting.
Oh, gosh.
How about that shit?
Oh, lighten up.
Ain't they wrote a letter?
Lighten up, Matthew.
Her mom said if Maite's letter could help someone accomplish her dream, but then her death would have an impact. And it would mean her dying had a point and wasn't pointless. That it would make the loss of her life matter.
All right, what are we going to do here, Matthew? That's the thing, you see?
The letter.
We got a bunch of legislators, a bunch of people that want to just do something. Do something. Start asking him questions about red flag laws. Can somebody point out to him that this guy had no red flags, right? I mean, just AR-15s are responsible for 0.00002% of the firearm homicide by firearms in America. Handguns, that's the problem. We're going to do something, do something, do something. I don't like how he's shaming now people. All right, let me hear. Is he still on this kick?
And her parents, Stephen and Jennifer. Ellie loved to dance and she loved church. She even knew how to drive tractors and was already working with her dad.
All right, we know. I don't need to hear this from Matthew McConaughey. What the hell kind of name is McConaughey anyway? Matthew McConaughey. Didn't he kind of go crazy, Charlie Sheen style, with that all right, all right, all right? What is that all about? I don't like this guy. It was a horrible tragedy, what happened there. And we know about the law enforcement. Looks like they really screwed it up. But 2 weeks later, some Hollywood guy is going to just cry at the White House podium? To what end? Mitch is in Lakewood, New Jersey. Mitch, you watching this nonsense?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call, Mr. Kelly. I wanted to bring out a point because we know Pelosi's responsible for the Capitol, for the protecting the Capitol. I was wondering why the Republicans don't fight back enough and set up their own committee and bring out some talking points about the responsibility and the neglect from Speaker Pelosi. I think that would put a kibosh on a lot of the stuff they're trying to do there, the Democrats, and bring out the truth.
You mean about January 6th, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's obvious to all of us, but they just keep it going. The fake news are in cahoots with them. They never bring up those thorny, tough questions for Nancy Pelosi, and quite frankly, for Mitch McConnell. And remember all the shaming they did at Trump when he even thought about bringing out the National Guard? Oh, no, that would be horrible. That would be a threat to democracy. You are right, but the mainstream media has no appetite for it. But thank you for reminding me. I'll hit that again tonight. Nancy. Crazy Nancy. Thank you, sir, very much. All right, let me tweet this out. Matthew McConaughey is laying it on thick. I heard that he and his wife haven't been to Uvalde since what's a good year? 1993. I'll say 1993. It's a guesstimate. Let me work on this a little bit more. Dan is calling all the way from Texas. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Love listening to your show.
Thanks.
What do you think about Eric Adams and the gun, what the guns are, and all that stuff?
Well, it's a total joke. It's a pathetic joke. Makes no sense whatsoever. You brought in this broken down criminal, literally, to get the guns. It defies logic. It's sad. Where is this character? I mean, well, let me ask you. You're in Texas. I mean, what do you think of that? Doesn't it sound ridiculous?
It don't make me feel no safer. It doesn't do nothing for me.
Yeah, where in Texas are you?
Near Uvalde, about 45 minutes over.
What do you think of Matthew McConaughey, who says he's from Uvalde, at the White House right now? Listen to this. Hold on a second, pal. Turn that back up one more time.
the very next day when he had a heart attack. They never got to paint the back of their house.
All right, just
But he
because
never
he's
got-
famous doesn't mean he's special. I already know that story. It's a terrible one. He gets to do it, and he's still doing it. You know what? We're a bunch of suckers in this country. And you could probably put me in that category, too, these famous people. Everybody stops, looks, and listens. Dan, I don't think it's relevant at all. Do you?
No, it's all nothing. A bunch of trash.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your life in Texas. What do you like to do down there?
I like to hang out. Me and my wife spend a lot of time together. We go out to the bars, we drink, we hunt a little bit. We have some fun.
All right. That's beautiful. And for work?
Sell the animals that I catch and stuff like that.
All right. Well, Dan, I so appreciate you listening all the way from Texas. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. Joe is in Flushing, closer to home, Flushing, Queens. What's up?
Hello, Craig. Big Greg Kelly fan and a big Greg Kelly fan. When you do like a montage of all the news media, they all say the same thing. Isn't that a conspiracy with the general news media that coming out? Can they classify that as a conspiracy because they're saying the same thing all the time?
Conspiracy is a legal term. We use it all the time, but as a crime, there's a statute: conspiracy to do this, conspiracy to do that, and you got to meet 16 different thresholds. So probably not. That's my short. But you're right about it. Can I hear them talking about the War of 1812 again, using the same damn phrase on the same damn day? Cut 28.
This was the most violent and destructive assault on the Capitol, breaching of the Capitol, since the War of 1812.
The U.S. Capitol suffered its worst security breach since the War of 1812.
Nobody's attacked Congress since 1812.
It was the worst attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Yeah, right? See what it, right? Yeah, but I don't know if that's technically a conspiracy, Joe. But it's interesting.
But it's just, yeah, it is. It is very. But they consistently say the same thing. And hey, thanks for keeping up the fight. And I love your show every afternoon and every evening. I try not to miss it.
Oh, thank you, pal, very, very much. Shoot, I do have to turn it up one more time. Is he still? Just for a second, Matthew McConaughey.
We need to invest in mental health care.
Oh, wow, you
We
think?
need safer schools. We need to restrain sensationalized media coverage.
How are we going to do that, pal?
We need to restore our
Restrain
family
it.
values. We need to restore our American values. And we need responsible gun ownership. Responsible gun
Hey, man,
ownership.
why don't you quit Hollywood and run for something, okay? It's a little bit disgusting right now. He's on all the damn networks at the same time. This so-so actor, right? I don't like it. Oh, wait a second. Got some breaking news here. Breaking news. Hold on. Judicial Watch lawsuit forces release of DOJ memo declining criminal prosecution for Ashley Babbitt's shooter. One more time, Judicial Watch. It's a great nonprofit conservative in Washington. They have a lawsuit. It forces the release of the DOJ memo that declined criminal prosecution for Ashley Babbitt's shooter. Judicial Watch announced that it received productions of the new records totaling 102 pages from the Department of Justice related to the shooting of January 6 protester Ashley Babbitt that include a memo recommending that the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia decline for criminal prosecution the fatal shooting of Ashley Babbitt. Also noting that the shooter, U.S. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd, did not create a police report or documents related to the shooting. Wait a second. Also noting that the shooter, U.S. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd, did not create a police report or documents? That's very odd. The documents also reveal that in the press release announcing the decision not to prosecute Byrd for the killing of Babbitt, the DOJ replaced the words group and crowd with the word mob several times. The unarmed Babbitt was shot and killed as she climbed through a broken interior window in the United States Capitol. She was a 14-year Air Force veteran. The identity of the shooter was kept secret by Congress, the Justice Department, and the D.C. police for 8 months until Byrd went public to try to defend his killing of Babbitt. The lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia after the Executive Office for the United States Attorneys, the Civil Rights Division, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, all components of the Department of Justice, failed to provide the records responsive to Judicial Watch's April 14, 2021 and May 20, 2021 Freedom of Information Act. The records contained the prosecution declination memorandum justifying the decision not to prosecute Byrd for the shooting death of Babbitt. The overview and recommendation section reads as follows. The memorandum recommends that the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia decline for criminal prosecution the fatal shooting of Ashley McEntee. This declination is based on a review of law enforcement and civilian eyewitnesses' accounts, physical evidence, recorded radio communications, cell phone footage, MPD reports, Metro Police, forensic reports, and the autopsy report for Miss McEntee, Babbitt. After a thorough review of the facts and circumstances in this case, there is insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lieutenant Byrd violated Ms. McEntee's civil rights by willfully using more force than was reasonably necessary or was not acting in self-defense of the others. The memo details. This is a total crock of crap, by the way. Once the demonstrators broke the glass, Lieutenant Byrd took up a tactical position to the immediate right of the barricade entry doors. Capitol Police Officer Reggie Tyson took up a tactical position behind Lieutenant Byrd on the right side, behind the third pillar, and Sergeant McKenna took up a tactical position, blah, 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 blah. All three officers had their service pistols drawn, pointed them in the direction of the barricaded entry doors, and repeatedly instructed the mob to get back. The mob of demonstrators, it's in quotation marks because they made it that way. They wanted it to sound worse. Ignored the officers' commands and continued to break the glass on the doors in their attempt to breach the speaker's lobby. Now, I've heard the tape. I've watched the tape. I can't hear anybody saying get back. I can't hear a damn word of that. Suddenly, Ashley Babbitt began to crawl through one of the doors where the glass was already broken out. As Miss McEntee was climbing through the door, Lieutenant Byrd stepped forward from his tactical position towards Miss McEntee and fired one round from his service pistol, striking her in the left shoulder, just below the clavicle. Miss Babbitt then fell back through the doorway and onto the floor. By the way, her life could have been saved. Her life could have been saved. They mishandled her afterwards. They did. In the section entitled U.S. Capitol Police Officer Lieutenant Michael Byrd, the memo notes he did not create any police reports or documents relating to the incident and did not provide an official statement regarding the use of force, though he did provide a voluntary debrief and walkthrough of the scene with his lawyer. A footnote details that during the debrief of Lieutenant Byrd, he did recall writing a few sentences on an evidence bag the evening of January 6, 2021, at the request of a crime scene officer. To date, the bag has not been located. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, for God's sake. The memo reports Lieutenant Byrd heard glass breaking and saw some of the items used to barricade the doors being pushed down. Lieutenant Byrd continued to tell the rioters to get back, get back. Lieutenant Byrd then saw a rioter with a backpack on start to climb through one of the broken glass doors. Lieutenant Byrd said he saw the rioter as a threat. I remember, I thought she was a threat. So he stepped forward from his tactical position and fired one round at the rioter. The rioter fell backward. Lieutenant Byrd eventually stepped back into the seated area of the speaker's lobby before confirming to other U.S. Capitol Police officers that arrived on the scene that he was the one that fired his service weapon. The memo notes that security staffing on January 6th was less than half the usual amount due to COVID-19. Less than half the usual amount due to COVID-19. January 6th. Even we were hearing all there was concern nationwide that it would be a bad day. How about that? One more thing here. The memo notes that he did not create. Okay, we already got that. How could he not do that? He got a lawyer and kept his mouth shut. This is not justice, but Judicial Watch did a great thing, a big step in the right direction. We need these documents because you can't shoot an unarmed woman in America. And everybody sees it and sees that it's wrong and get away with it. No way. Not in my country.